Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the recently announced export ban on the palm oil by the Indonesia, and in this particular video we are going to discuss that what was the rationale and the reason behind this particular export ban, and also we are going to discuss that what is going to be the impact of this export ban on India, especially India's oil sector. So first of all, the context in which we are discussing this today's issue is recently the Indonesian President Joko Widodo has announced that Indonesia is also the world's biggest exporter and biggest producer of the palm oil, that they will be banning all the exports of palm oil since the April 28th, not only palm oil but all its raw material and the other commodity associated with it. The decision mainly has been taken with an aim to reduce the domestic shortage that is going on in Indonesia of cooking oil, and also because the prices of oil have skyrocketed in the Indonesia as well, so they want to both tackle the domestic shortage as well as reduce the prices of palm oil in the Indonesia. And as per the finance minister of Indonesia, she has said that this is going to be among the harshest move the government has recently taken, mainly to stabilize the price of cooking oil in the country. So let us first understand the background story, that why these all events have unfolded. So first of all, we know that in recent times we have a significant surge in the global food prices, largely due to the supply chain disruption that has resulted due to the Russia-Ukraine war, and also the resultant sanctions that have been imposed by the Western countries on the Russia. So this supply chain disruption have caused not only the we can say disruption in the movement of the goods and services, but also the important commodities, especially grain commodities like wheat, sunflower oil, all this has also become costlier as these materials are not able to be transported from Russia and Ukraine. So as per the recent report submitted by United Nations, they have said that globally, if you look at the prices of food, it has risen by 13% in the single month of March. This export ban has also interestingly come into the same time when three major organizations, global organizations like World Bank, IMF and the World Trade Organizations, they have recently urged the countries that they should avoid hoarding of food stocks and also refrain from exercising any kind of export control. Export controls means when what Indonesia is doing, like they are banning the export of certain commodities. So since these all three organizations have said that in recent times it is going to be a very difficult month, especially for the food importing economies, thus such kind of exercises, such kind of we can say acts should be avoided. However, Indonesia has went ahead and announced the export ban. So let us first try to briefly understand it. What is the importance of palm oil in the oil sector or in the oil consumption of the globe? So it is believed to be the world's most widely used vegetable oil as compared to the other alternatives. And not only it is only used in the oil for consumption of cooking oil, the palm oil also have great demand in the cosmetic industry. It also have very great demand in the production or processing of manufacturing of processed food. The palm oil also is used in the manufacturing of cleaning products like soap, shampoos and detergents, and apart from that, palm oil also is recently being utilized as a biofuel. And incidentally, in Indonesia, they have actually said that about 15 to 20% of their domestic palm oil production is currently being utilized as a biofuel raw material. So that is the importance of palm oil. The production wise, if you look at the global production of palm oil, so in the last year, as per the data received from United States Department of Agriculture, the total production stood at 73 million tons. However, in this particular year, this is expected to increase up to 77 million tons. So that is the production of palm oil. However, the production of palm oil is not free from criticism. Definitely, as compared to other alternatives, there are certain advantages of using palm oil. The two important advantages of palm oil are, first of all, it has high yield per hectare. That means if you are sowing any other oilseed crop in a particular acre of in 1 acre of land, you will get lesser yield as compared to palm oil. So obviously, that is why people prefer to sow it. Apart from that, second, also not only it has high yield per hectare, but also it is much inexpensive as compared to the other alternatives. However, there are certain criticisms. So what are the criticisms? The first important criticism is that due to the increase in the area of palm oil cultivation, what is happening? We are witnessing massive deforestation in the rainforest regions of both Indonesia and Malaysia. not only this will have adverse effect on the global climate, but also there is evidences of exploitation of labor force, since this palm oil industry is a labor intensive industry in the Malaysia, Indonesia, and that is why human rights issue and the environmental issues are the main point of criticism as far as the growth of palm oil is concerned. Now, how the palm oil and where the palm oil is distributed across the world. So two main countries are there, the Malaysia and Indonesia. They collectively produce about 90% of global palm oil production. The Indonesia, being the leading producer, produces 60% of the global palm, while Malaysia produces about 30% of global palm. And apart from this, palm oil makes up 40% of the global supply of the four most widely used edible oil across the globe. Apart from palm, we have soybean, rapeseed, and rapeseed is also called as canola, and sunflower oil. However, palm oil has 40% of share out of these four. So that is how we can see the importance of palm oil is very high as far as the oil consumption is concerned. Now, obviously, the question comes that this decision of export ban has been taken mainly due to the increase in the edible oil prices all across the world. So, what has been the main reason behind the increase in oil prices? So, first of all, we have short supply of alternative vegetable oil. If you have a large number of different alternatives or different type of oil are available in the market, then obviously if one oil price increases, consumer can shift to the other prices. The problem here is that other alternatives of palm oil are also in short supply, and this we can understand from the three facts that if you look at the second most consumed oil, that is soybean oil, so they have witnessed a very poor season, especially in the major producer countries in South America, where Argentina is a leading producer. Then the second alternative, canola oil or rapeseed oil, as we discussed, the Canada being the largest producer, but here also this oil production has suffered huge losses due to the last year that was a drought affected year. And the third alternative is the sunflower oil. This supply of sunflower oil has also been significantly hampered, mainly because of Russia-Ukraine war, because Russia and Ukraine collectively produces almost 90% of global sunflower production. So, poor soybean season in Argentina, drought in Canada affecting canola oil, and the Russia-Ukraine war affecting the supply disruption of sunflower oil have caused a massive surge in the prices of oil palm as well. Apart from that, the pandemic also has not helped, as we know that the whole globe was reeling through the effect of pandemic, and here also due to pandemic, largely the major producers like Indonesia and Malaysia especially, they have to incur labor shortages. And due to this labor shortages, the yield of palm oil was not as high as it was during the normal times. The third is other vegetable oils also saw a spikes after Indonesia ban. Once they have said that export ban, the Indonesia announced export ban, the prices of not only palm oil but other vegetable oils have also shot up. Now coming to the main point, that what is the reason behind the crisis of Indonesia palm oil, because it is due to the increase in the prices, domestic prices, as well as the shortage of the palm oil. Indonesia is taking the step of export ban. So first thing is there is a deficiency of crude palm oil. Why there is deficiency of crude palm oil? Crude palm oil actually is the one from which the crude palm oil actually is refined to produce the consumable cooking palm oil. So crude palm oil is very less in Indonesia as compared to earlier times, mainly due to the rise in prices in the global market. As the global market price of the crude palm oil has risen in global market, the producers of crude palm oil in Indonesia does not have any incentive to produce oil which can only be consumed domestically. As government earlier had put a ban that there is certain percentage of crude palm production by the domestic producers will have to be sold in the Indonesia itself. It cannot go beyond. So that is the first thing. Second, the domestic capping has also led to large scale hoarding and cartelization of palm oil in Indonesia that has caused a kind of artificial shortage as well. And third reason can be understood by the government's step itself of emphasizing on using biodiesel and producing biodiesel, especially by using of palm oil. And recently Indonesia last year actually has announced that the percentage of biodiesel in the normal diesel can go as high as 30%. And as discussed before, as per the report submitted by United Nations, Indonesia has used almost 15 to 20% of its domestic palm production in the biodiesel. So that has caused a shortage of palm oil for the cooking purposes. So let us try to understand that what is going to be the impact on India of this export ban. So first let us understand that what is the position of India as far as the import of palm oil is concerned. So Indonesia is the largest exporter and producer of palm oil. On the other hand, India is the biggest importer of palm oil, and of all the oil it imports from across the world, 40% of import constitutes of palm oil. So this is going to be a very significant, we can say, problem for India in the coming days. And also the other figure we can understand is the dependence. To understand the dependency of India on palm oil is that half of its annual need for 8.3 million tons of palm oil come from Indonesia. That means 50% of import basket of palm oil of India is consisting of Indonesia. And due to this export ban and also due to the shortage in supply, Indian companies have already witnessed a 38% rise in the landing cost of crude palm oil in India. That also is causing higher cost for the consumers as well. And local prices in Indonesia may fall as a result of this decision, but experts and economists believe that the prices in India may skyrocket due to this decision of Indonesia. And to give you a much accurate figure, recent figure, India's palm oil import have jumped 21% in March from the previous month as traders move to secure alternatives to the sunflower oil. As discussed before, India also is one of the biggest importer of sunflower oil from Russia and Ukraine, but now due to war, this sunflower oil cannot be imported by India, and that is why India increased its dependency on palm oil from Indonesia. And that is why we have seen increase in the figure to 21%. However, the export ban of palm oil by Indonesia will also cut another supply line to the Indian oil, and then India will have to look at some other alternative or focus more on the domestic growth of the palm oil. However, recently a clarification has been issued by the government of Indonesia, where they have said that Indian edible oil markets actually have heaved a sigh of relief, because yesterday actually in the evening, Indonesia has clarified that the export ban that has been announced will not be applicable on the crude palm oil, but will only cover shipments of refined, bleached and deodorized RBD palmoline. So this is expected to benefit Indian oil refinery sector to a certain extent, because higher the amount of crude palm oil they have. Earlier what used to happen, we were importing even refined oils. That means Indian refinery does not have a lot of work and like we can say a lot of crude oil. But now due to the ban of this refined oil, now only crude oil palm can come to India, and thus refinery will also have some improvement in their profits and all these things. So that is all about the recent issues about the oil palm and how this is going to affect India's oil sector. Thank you very much.